call, see if we're okay, babe. All I wanna ask you is, I don't wanna push you farther away, no. I don't wanna play no games. I just wanna call, see if we're okay, babe. All I wanna ask you is, are you down for love? Are you up for someone to be together, be together? Babe, I want your love. I'll be the one you trust. You're all that matters, all that matters. I got feelings about you. Oh yeah, butterflies every time I'm with you. Oh yeah. I don't wanna push you farther away, no. I don't wanna play no games. I just wanna call, see if we're okay, babe. All I wanna ask you is, I don't wanna push you farther away, no. I don't wanna play no games. I just wanna call, see if we're okay, babe. All I wanna ask you is, are you down for love? Are you up for someone to be together, be together? Babe, I want your love. I'll be the one you trust. You're all that matters, all that matters. Are you down for love? Are you up for someone to be together, be I wanna be Babe, I want your love. I'll be the one you trust. You're all that matters, all that matters to me. Issues, I know I got issues. Hate you, then I miss you again. Selfish, I can be so selfish. Spend more time when meeting your friends. Please forgive my attitude. I want my cake and eat it too. But a little grace would be enough for me to prove that, baby, you the remedy. You're my mirror, I could finally see, bringing out the best in me. Yeah, I don't want no problems, but I know I got a lot of work to do. Baby, I'm not perfect, but I know I'm worth it. Working out my issues with you, with you. Crutches, I be holding crutches. Can't let go of any mistakes. Distant, sometimes I get distant. Stay away as long as it takes. Please forgive my attitude. I need my cake and eat it too. But a little time will be enough for me to prove that, baby, you the remedy. You're my mirror, I could finally see, bringing out the best in me. Yeah, I don't want no problems, but I know I got a lot of work to do. Baby, I'm not perfect, but I know I'm worth it. Working out my issues with you, with you. My highs and my lows, it's part of being human. Can you weather the storm? I'm starting to believe you can, 'cause baby, you the remedy. You're my mirror, I could finally see, bringing out the best in me, yeah. I don't want these problems, I know I got a lot of work to do. Baby, I'm not perfect, but I know I'm worth it, working out my issues with you. I believe in you, me, yeah. I believe in you, me, yeah. Let's stay here for a lifetime underneath the moonlight, 'cause I don't want us to go. No, I don't want us to go. Yeah, you could be my lifeline, you could be my sunshine in a world so full of pain. Can you make it go away? It used to be so sad that love was lost, but now it's here to stay. Yeah, I used to be uncomfortable, but look at me today. Never thought I'd find someone like you, someone to show the way. But now I know you're the answer to my prayer. You and me must be right. Something's in the air, I can feel it now. You and me must do something right. We can't get enough of us. You and me every night, aiming for the stars with the love so bright. You and me must do something right. Baby, I believe in us. I believe in you and me, yeah. I believe in you and me, yeah. I'm sorry for the burden, sorry I was hurting, but my scars are almost healed. Yeah, my scars are almost healed. Yeah, I'm feeling like a child now, everything's alright now, and it's all because of you. You made the flower in me bloom. Used to be afraid of everything, but now there's no more fear. Yeah, I used to let nobody in and hide my face with tears. Always thought of you as someone who can love someone like me, but I was wrong. Baby, now I believe. You and me must be right. Something's in the air, I can feel it now. You and me must do something right. We can't get enough of us. You and me every night, aiming for the stars with the love so bright. You and me must do something right. Baby, I believe in us. I believe in you and me, yeah. I believe in you and me, yeah. You and me must be right. Something's in the air, I can feel it now. You and me must do something right. We can't get enough of us. You and me every night, aiming for the stars with the love so bright. You and me must do something right. Baby, I believe in us. I believe in you and me, yeah. I believe in you and me, You know it's creeping up on me. This frostbite gets deep into my blood. not my fault. You've been lying, saying that I took away your peace. Drowning by yourself, now you wanna blame me. Like you have no options. I ain't take your options. Nah, I'm not the problem. Man, that's on you, yeah. You've been terrorizing me, yeah, I'm always wrong. I knew you lost your mind when you dropped that bomb. Girl, are you crazy? Yeah, you must be crazy. I've been thinking lately it's you. You stole your peace, put it on me, but baby, it's you. Lying like a rat, but take your stuff back, baby, it's you.
Mic check 1, 2.
Baby, it's you.
We getting ready, y'all. Mics are hot. 2 minutes.
What did you think? You could say whatever and I would never hear. You've been flexing everywhere. Girl, look in the mirror. Man, you so dirty. Yeah, you look so dirty. You were never worthy. Lately, it's you. You stole your peace, put it on me, but baby, it's you. Lying like a rat, but take your stuff back, baby, it's you. Control the weather, then every day would rain on your parade. Shine, you can't change, yeah. If I was Father Time, then I would change the day. So I never saw your face.
Welcome, everybody. We are back. Students, welcome to class. Get everything set up over here. Welcome to class. You have now entered the main lecture hall in the Department of Hard Knocks at the Shannon Rawls University. Have a seat, everybody. Take out a pen and paper. Prepare to take notes. There's a lot to learn tonight. My name is Professor Shannon, and I'd like to introduce to all of you. Am I on the right screen? I am. I'd like to introduce to all of you my esteemed colleagues of the night. We have, everybody give a warm round of applause to Professor Tamiko. We have Professor Cheryl. And we have my man, Professor Sir Hale. We also have, hold on, Professor Mosi. Hey, Miss Mosi, how are you, love? Mosi, check your audio. There you go. We can hear Miss Mosi now. Let me put her in here. Professor Miss Mosi is in the house. as one of our esteemed guests. Ladies and gentlemen, we are on another episode of Wife School. Wife School is a show where we teach where women. This is a show for women, really by women, that teaches young women or old that needs it the things that they need to know to become a wife and not just married. To become a wife and not just married, it's a complete difference. We answer all the hard questions, and we have the hard discussions here. And I'm glad you guys are here for another episode. How'd everybody we go?
Pretty good.
Good.
Good, good. It had to be better than that, you guys. It had to be better than that.
I'm here. It was great.
Yeah. Okay.
It's
Mostly
been
how
adventurous.
it's been adventurous mostly.
Yes.
You guys hear? You know, the I don't know if you guys caught the news. That seems to be hotter than anything else. But I guess Nia Long's husband cheated on her. First of all, I didn't know Nia Long was married. How about that? Let's start there.
They're not married though. From
They're
my
not
understanding.
married.
They're not married. Yeah.
Okay, everybody's acting like they're married. Okay, I didn't think she was married. So were they engaged? Just a boyfriend, or what's going on?
I think just a long-term boyfriend for like 7 years. I heard that correctly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Didn't know that. Okay. I didn't know that. That's good to know. All right.
I think the real scandal with it is it's not necessarily cheating. Is that it's a colleague, a subordinate, and he abused the policy, so he's up for suspension.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, okay. Hold on one second, you guys. I got Professor Happy's in the green room. Let me move her up into this system. Let me see here. Let's put Happy right here. Hey, Professor Happy. Can you hear us? Professor Happy? Uh-oh. I guess not. She'll be back in a second. So wait, what happened? So what's the real scandal? The fact that he is just what? And then if he's not married, then what's the problem? And how is he getting suspended at work? I don't understand.
He violated the company's policy. You know, everyone should read their company's policy, but they have, certain rules if you can date or have a relationship with your colleague. And especially if it's someone that's under you, if you're like their supervisor, that's a conflict of interest big time. So I don't know the dynamic of their professional relationship, but he violated the company policy. So that's what he's up for suspension for.
Got it. So is this just Nia Long's boyfriend?
From my understanding, yes. Like I heard that they have a child together, but I haven't followed that relationship, so I'm just learning about this information. And it's always funny how we emphasize the cheating aspect of it and not the real issue at hand, which is that there was a policy that he was made aware of, and their inappropriate use of work tools is what alerted the situation.
Well, I guess we wouldn't give it.
Sexting.
I guess in the black community, we wouldn't care if it wasn't about cheating cheating on the girl. It's
Exactly.
like company policy. Oh, we all do that. We all screwing somebody at work that we ain't supposed to be screwing. Fraternization,
Right.
That's common. But don't everybody don't fucking cheat on Nia Long. So goddamn, that's gonna be the news. That's gonna be the news. Hey, Professor Danny. Professor Danny's in the house.
Hello, you guys.
You sound great. You look great. Everybody's good here. I'm glad to have you back. Professor Happy was here, so when she gets back in the green room, I'll pull her up. But we're gonna jump right into it, you guys. We're gonna jump right into the question of the night. I don't know if you guys caught the episode of Husband School. So Husband School is underway. Hold on one second. Let me close this. Let me get this question here. Minimize this. Come here. Paste this. And wait, hold on. See, now we got Professor Happy in the house, y'all. So let me bring her up. There's 6 of us today. No, I'm sorry, 7 of us today. Let's switch this over. Let's move my man Sir Hale into his proper position. And then we're gonna put Professor Happy right here.
Hi, everybody. Good afternoon.
Hey.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
Hope you guys are
We are
good. Sorry.
all in the house. You know what? I'm gonna switch here, and then I'm gonna put. We're gonna do it that way. That way the cameras look better. All right. So without further ado, here's one of the biggest questions that everybody likes to ask, and this is what I like to ask the ladies. Um, how old should women be in 2022 before they start thinking about marriage? Now listen, I understand, right? And one of the biggest arguments, what you want to take us back to the 50s? No. We're going to keep it right here in 2022 with smartphones and internet and social media and all the nuances that make a relationship today. If you had yourself a young daughter who was, let's say, graduating high school, she's 18 years old, and she's interested in legacy and she wants to build a family and all that kind of stuff, what is the best advice you think that will bring out the best? Because this is what the women are watching you guys for, ladies. What would be the best advice? The best advice that will give her the best long-term life happiness. Take everything into consideration: career, children, life insurance, living long, happiness. What would be the best advice for young women today? If you had to answer the question, if one of them was to ask you, how old should I be before I start thinking about marriage? It's popcorn style, ladies. You guys can jump in whenever you're ready.
I don't know that there's an age. I don't know that there's an age because I think that with marriage, so much of it is culturally, so much of the definition and how it's done is culturally defined, right? And I think that in today's culture, um, it's less about age and more about where you are mentally. It's more about where you are in terms of maturity, in terms of emotional maturity, in terms of knowing who you are, what you need, and being able to not only provide for your own needs, but also recognize what it is that you offer to another person long term. So I think it's less about age, more about state of mind. I do think that in today's culture, it's much later than it used to be. I think that personally, I don't think women should start even. I think you should be in your 30s when you start thinking about it. I think that there's so much that you go through in your teens, in your um, college years, post college, or even if you don't go to college, your early 20s, your mid 20s. And there's such a jump in mindset between who you are when you first become an adult and who you are after you turn 30. It's not just about turning 30, but it's everything that comes with that. It's all the lessons you learn in your 20s, all those things that are super important and really kind of change you a little bit and mature you in ways that I think are necessary to go into a lifelong partnership with.
Okay. 30. All right. Anybody else?
After 30, that's when they should start thinking about it. I think that's
They should
after
start.
30.
So
Yeah.
you believe that women should start today with all the shit that goes on and the way the economy is and how expensive housing is and the mindset and the things that people need to gather to learn to be successful. You believe that young women today should start thinking about it after the age 30.
I think that they would have more of a chance of success at it if they do.
Got you. All right. Anybody else?
Long-term success.
Long term success. Go ahead, Professor Cheryl. I hear you.
I agree. I feel like even with my daughter, I always tell her, you're too young to be thinking about marriage right now. She's 23, and not that she is, but I just tell her, take your time and really figure out, what it is that you like, the type of, like I mentioned before in other podcasts, you really don't know who you are when you're in your early 20s, mid 20s, I think even late 20s. You're still kind of growing into who you are. And learning, maturing. Um, you are pretty much, through experiences and dating, trying to figure out, what you're attracted to, who you like. Maybe you're attracted to, tall, dark, and handsome. And then you come to realize that there's other traits and other things that, are more important. Like, is this the type of man that could be a good father? Is he a hard worker? Does he really consider me and my feelings, my emotions? A lot goes into it. And I think, there are some people that get married right out of high school and they're high school sweethearts, and, they're married forever. So, I mean, it's not that it can't happen, but at the same time, too, like Professor Happy said, it's a level of maturity that you have to, like, perhaps she grew up in a family that, her parents just raised her and taught her and showed her and was a great example, and that's just something that she is, ready for. Perhaps, it would work. But I think for the vast majority of us, there's just a level of experience that, I think helps, just to gain insight on how to navigate through a relationship effectively and emotionally.
Go ahead,
So
Professor Miss Mosi.
I'm going to rock the boat. I'm going to let you guys know right now. So hold on. If she wants to marry for love, I would tell her to get married after 27. If she wants to utilize the marriage to build wealth and have children, I would suggest getting married between the ages of 22 to 24.
That's a huge difference. What you saying, Miss
We
Mosi?
know.
What's love got to do with it?
I mean,
what's your okay? So far we've heard 30 plus, but mostly if they looking for wealth and comfortability, you're saying at such a you're 8 years earlier. Why do you think 22 to 24?
Well, taking out the culture of the African American culture, we know that system wise, 2 is better than 1. And so if you have young people together growing, building, investing, sharing assets, they're building. That's one area for wealth. Now, second area is if you're in your childbearing age, of course, having children earlier on the woman's body is typically better than later. And this is mostly having a child at 24 and one at 32. There is a difference in your rearing at both ages. Now, when you are, and here's the other thing, you just got to groom her for what she's looking for. So if we're talking about wealth and comfortability and building resource for her family, then she's in a prime, in a younger state, and more pliable and more coachable, more what's the word I'm looking for? More
Malleable.
The ability, more not just valuable.
No,
really,
malleable.
Yes, malleable. Yes. As opposed to when she's 30 plus, she's getting more set in who she is, her ways, not really willing to be as lenient or pliable. I really believe at 44, almost 45, I'm not marrying for love. I mean, I want to like the man, of course. But when I was 20 something, I thought the idea of marriage, and I would have probably got married had I understood back then what I know now. I thought that I needed to marry for love, and that was not what we needed to marry for. So I know it's like, it's a jump, it's a cliffhanger, like, wait, what? But when your young daughter is out there in the world managing her own mortgage or rent, car note, insurances, life insurance, um, investments. We're asking a lot from one person to make it, rather than the joint effort of two doing the same thing.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. The only thing that I see being an issue with taking love out of the equation, because you said first you gave one answer for if love was in the equation, and then you gave another answer for if love is out of the equation. The thing with love being out of the equation completely is that if she's only being trained to build wealth, there oftentimes tends to be a lack of emotional development. And so then you get into a relationship with a man, and it may not be for love, but it's a marriage, it is a partnership, it is an intimate relationship, and you have to know how to manage your emotions. And so yes, you do have the shared resources, but oftentimes you can have those resources and walk away from them completely because you're not emotionally prepared to sustain that kind of relationship with that longevity just because of money, or
Well,
just because of
hold
money.
on, Professor Happy, real quick. Professor Cheryl, hit the mute button. I think that we're getting feedback that's coming from your mic, and then you can unmute when you get ready to talk. Go ahead, Professor Happy.
No, I was just saying, I think that's the only thing. Like, I agree with you, even. I agree with the mindset. I don't think that it works practically. I don't think that it actually works anymore, especially in the way that our culture has developed with social media being so prevalent. And we see other people's opinions constantly. And so it's not like you're just doing this one thing. It's not like, see, at work, you go to work and that can be your only goal, money. You know what I'm saying? That works in that realm. However, a lot of people will leave their job if they're being mistreated, or if they don't like the environment, or you know what I'm saying. So I think, I just don't know if we're emotionally developed enough, and if we have that. And some people are. Some people definitely are. If you are, you are. But I think that what I learned was there's such a jump in how I behaved and what I knew and what I did with the information that I knew from 20 to 25, and then from 25 to 27, and then from 27 to 30. Like it was huge, and I just, you have to be so intentional, but also you just need some experience. Some things only experience can really teach you.
Okay.
Professor Happy's right on the money. I teach that women really do not come into life until the age of 27. Like, that's when life becomes really real for a woman.
When you wake up. I woke up at 20.
Yeah.
Just to be clear, it was age 27 that I don't know what else to call it, but I say at 27 I woke up. That's when I woke up.
Wow. Yeah. And I think what you also have to, if we put love back in the equation, you got to teach what love actually is. It's not the what is it, the endorphins and the little pistons that goes off of your body and the butterflies. That's not what love is. It's it can be a part of it, but if you teach your daughter what love really looks like, the patience, the kindness, for me, that's where I gauge the ability to be present, to respect you and your thought. Then she won't look for just a feel good of love. She'll understand love is also correction. And men often issue correction to women that we're not ready to receive, but it is 100% truth. So if they're looking to build, and from my understanding, this is another culture teaching me that they sent their daughters to college not to get a degree, but to get the man.
That's most all cultures except for black.
Yeah, I've heard
exactly.
that.
Everybody, all of them except for the black folk. Black folk want to go to school to get that job. Asians, oh no, go to school to find your man. Hispanic, oh, go to school to find.
Yeah.
White is a teeter-totter. Depends on what part of the country you're from. Black, cross the nation, go to school, get that job, get a man later. But go ahead.
Yep. And so when they would go and hang out in the areas of the men who within 10 to 15 years would be able to provide for their family based on their career choice and their training and their skill set. And so if you had that mindset of going to college and not just going to get my paper, but I'm actually looking for the engineer that's been at the school for 6-7 years because his field is going to be in the high demand in the next 15 years. Then maybe I would get to know him a little bit more better instead of just passing by. The other component that I didn't mention when we talk about love, I really believe in friendship. I wouldn't teach her to be in love. I would teach her how to be a really great friend.
Okay.
That's good. That's
What
good.
do you think,
Super
Professor Danny? What do you think is the best age, Professor Danny? If you had a daughter that was your age, what would you tell her the best age to start thinking about seriously dating? I mean, marriage minded. And tell it, and you know what, Professor Danny, also let us know what the young ladies are thinking these days. You know, you're a model. You were just in New York Fashion Week. You work with them. You talk to them. They're more comfortable speaking to you than us old folk. What's the mindset of the young women these days? Also,
Well, I'll come back to the mindset, but I agree with what Happy said at first. I don't think it's a specific age range. I think that you don't need to be thinking about marriage until you have married yourself. And what I mean by that is you're in love with yourself, you're committed to yourself to grow, all the things that comes with a marriage, you have it in yourself. I think that a lot of things that need to be taught as a young girl aren't taught nowadays that were taught at a certain point in time to have a successful marriage. So I would not lean more toward young people getting married, but if you were raised, to have a successful marriage and you were taught the right things to have a successful marriage, then like I said, get married at 18. I think that.
but you're saying 18 only if you were taught.
Only if you were taught.
Only if you come from a family
and you're
that
married to yourself.
right, and you know yourself, and you're more in tune. But if you don't have that background, you're saying what?
I'm saying don't get married. I'm saying find yourself, figure it out, go to therapy, do what you got to do, learn what you need to learn in order to get that knowledge, and make that marriage last. There was another point about love y'all were talking about. You don't really, or people think love is the butterflies. I agree with all that, and it's not. You see these relationships that last for years, and you'll talk to the husband. He'll be like, I initially didn't love my wife at all, but I grew to love her because she was there. She cared for me. She, paid attention to details. She was feminine. Like she was my confidant. All that stuff. So I definitely think. To be in a marriage, you don't have to be in love and have these quote-unquote butterflies or this specific feeling people think they gotta have before they get married, but we're willing to have your heart be open to eventually loving that person or falling in love with that person. But look for the traits for that. Look for, is that guy attentive? Is he a protector? Is he a provider? All the P's you talk about, to eventually fall in love with that person. So yeah, I agree. With you don't have to be absolutely in love, but allow that love to be able to grow.
What about the young girls these days? What's the word on the street nowadays?
These girls don't want to get married. They want a sugar daddy. A girl on a set the other day, she was like, I just want a man to pay my bills. And I was just like, who cares this?
Wow. Damn.
But yeah,
that sounds like the city girl mentality.
Or some of them are looking for marriage, but like I said, they don't know what to do in a real marriage. They thinking, like I said, the man's paying all the bills and they just chilling, relaxing, living their best life without putting any work in. So yeah, it's unfortunate, but yeah, that's the majority.
Yikes. I wonder where they got that from. See, I listen, we hear the Meg Thee Stallions, we hear the Cardi B's, we hear the city girls, we hear the the whole bad bitch mentality. And I'm wondering if that's leading to if that's lending to a lot of the young women today feeling the way you say they feel. Back in my day, everybody wanted to be married. It was like, oh, I can't wait to get married. I want to have a family, so on and so forth. Now it's like, what? The way you make it, it's like women are like, nah, I ain't trying to do that. I want a sugar daddy. What? Well, so are you saying the young women don't want to work these days?
There's an imbalance.
They don't want to work. They don't want the commitment. Like, they really want to be hoes at the end of the day. That's what it really is. They want to be able to do what they want to do with what they want to, with who they want to do it, whenever they want to do it. Like, so I think that's more so what it is. They just want the freedom, but they also want what comes the financial, what's it called, the financial gain that comes with marriage, I guess. Too.
Oh, so they
But
want to
don't
they want to
put
they
in
want to
work
live
for
a
that.
retired life at 20.
Right.
What were you getting ready to say, Professor Happy?
I think that what's happening is there's an imbalance, right? So once the feminist movement happened, when women started really making money and seeing that they had the same earning potential sometimes as men or very close to it, and that they could actually get by without a man, they're entered like this imbalance in understanding how to use it. So I wouldn't necessarily say they want to be hoes, but the freedom part is true. The reason why you said make sure you get married to yourself, I thought that was so poignant for a cultural argument about where we are culturally right now. You want to get married to yourself first because you want to know who you are. That didn't used to be important in marriage. That wasn't culturally important in the institution of marriage when it was first introduced, number one, and how it came to America, most certainly not. It was really about, this is to get more land, okay, for the family. So
Farming.
yeah, y'all go ahead and we're gonna get
We're gonna
married, and
we're gonna
y'all
tend the
gonna be
cattle and
partners
shit.
for life. They're boys for life. We ride together, we die together, all of that. It's not, it's what we've noticed is that you can make it by yourself. Yeah, it's a little bit harder. It's not a little bit. It's definitely harder to do it alone. It's definitely harder. However, can it be done? Absolutely. We see people do it all the time. We do it all the time. If you really reach your full potential as a person, it's not actually that hard to do it, by yourself, because you have a team of people. Not, I don't mean by yourself as in by yourself truly, but without marriage, without that partner. You don't actually need that in the way that we are set up culturally today. It doesn't seem like you need that. And there's so much importance put on the individual. And a lot of marriages are failing because people realize that they don't even know who they are. And so when they get into these marriages, and be for whatever it is, maybe it's for love, maybe it's for money, whatever the case is. But if you don't know who you are, eventually you will find something to be unhappy about with someone.
Got it. Professor Tamiko.
Yeah, basically listening to everyone. I agree with what everyone has said. I would lean towards waiting to the later years. Like, I'm 46 and I'm just now considering, I was talking to you earlier, but just now considering, oh, would I want to be married? So me, I look at myself, and again, I come from, I guess, old school then, at 18, 20, I was a hot mess in my 20s. And it took me this long to actually find myself and know what I like. And I never wanted to be in a relationship where I'm looking for the other person to meet all my needs. Like, I need to do that for myself. And I think a lot of, if you marry too young, like what most have said, if you marry too young and you get into that type of relationship too young, you don't know. You don't, right? And then they end early. I have to say, around maybe about 25, I was probably in 6 weddings, and all those marriages are no longer. So yeah, I would lean towards
One of them?
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
One of them, not one.
Not one. I mean, these are weddings that I was, bridesmaid. All my friends, they were like, "Oh, this marriage season." And I'm like, okay, I guess I'm just going to be the permanent bridesmaid. And not one of them are still together. They're divorced, separated.
So, Professor Tamiko. Professor Tamiko, so you said you're 46 today. So let's say, hypothetically speaking, if you had a daughter when you were 20, she'd be 26 today. If you had that daughter when you would tell her today to wait, even if she had all of your tutelage, she had all of your game, you was there to guide her through life to make the better decisions that maybe you didn't make, you would still tell her today to wait, as opposed to.
It would depend of what did I show her. Like, for me, again, I can only look at myself. My parents never married, so I never grew up I never saw what a marriage looks like, right? So I think that was part of too, while I was a little probably afraid to enter into that, because I didn't know what I was doing. So it would depend. If I was in a marriage and my daughter, grew up in a married household, then I would probably feel okay, because I would hope that I taught her and given her all the tools. And at 20, if she was ready, she had a great example, and I wouldn't be worried. But if I was 20, single parent, had a daughter, the father wasn't around, and she was talking about marriage, I would be like, whoa, no, honey, wait, So it just depends. Like someone said, maturity level, that all plays into that. So
Wow. So we got a pretty mixed bag here today. Well, not really. Seems like everybody's. Well, no, it's a mixed bag. It looks like it's 3-2. Um, Professor Cheryl, it looks like the top row. The top row is saying, "Look, wait, ladies, until you're 30 plus." The bottom row is saying, it's really kind of happy, saying, "Look, ladies, if you got your shit together, get it done early. Get it done out. Get it out the way." Professor Hale, Professor Sir Hale, I can see it in your face, brother. I can see it in your face.
So, to the ladies at the top, and good to see you, Shan. To the ladies, Professor Tamiko, Professor Cheryl, and Professor Happy, good to see you guys. I'm offering discounts for counseling. I want to counsel each of you because of what you said tonight. I am profoundly astounded about what you said. And I'm going to tell you why this is. It's because we should not be telling our daughters to wait until later in life, till they get to almost half of their life to determine whether or not they want to be with somebody. I'll give you this example. I have never come from wealth in my family, ever come from wealth. So what I'm establishing now is the first time. I do not want my kids to be 35 when they get what I had, because it took me 35 years. What we should be doing is expediting the learning curve for our kids, which is what other cultures do. So I would rather our kids be thinking about marriage really early on in life, and we prepare them to be that. Now, whether or not they become that, it's optional for them. But we ought to be preparing our kids for the possibility that they might be married and to go through life knowing how to work with somebody. The sad part that I see too often in our community is we're willing to have children in our 20s while we put marriage off into our 30s and our 40s, which is why we have so many single mothers and kids who are raised without parents. And we have to stop doing that to all of, especially my Black people. Now, Shane, I'm getting ready to say something, and this comes from a place of passion. We have to stop this shit, because what we're teaching our kids is that we don't need each other, that we're not important to each other, and that we can put each other on the back burner. Now, we'll go to school to get a degree for 8 years, for 4 years, to go work with somebody to get promoted. But when it comes to the beauty of family, then we treat this like it's a luxury until we get 45, 50, our knees start going out, our ACL gets torn, we probably need a hip replacement, right? Until that kind of stuff happens. And then now we want to get some help because we need some help. But we didn't think about giving somebody our best years, but we want somebody to come in to help us pay these bills. We got to give people the best. If we want that support later in life, we got to start conditioning our mind to give people our best in life as well. And that starts with being prepared for marriage early in life.
Professor Hale, I agree with you so much on so much of what you said, but the part that I'm having a hard time with is that I believe the reason I answered the way that I did about being over 30 is because that's when I typically see people become their best self. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know that you're talking about I think you're talking about the physical youth of the body. But typically, I see women really working out seriously in their late 20s, early 30s, throughout their 30s. I see women really figuring out how they like to dress, what their style is, who they are. And so I think I agree with training them for partnership, training them to understand how to be in relationships with people. I just disagree in the timing of it. I think that there are certain things that only experience could teach you. You can learn, you could teach all day long. I was raised in a house with 2 parents that were married, but I still didn't walk out of that. And it's a healthy marriage. What I believe to be a healthy marriage. They're still married. But I still don't believe that I was ready for a partnership of my own based on what they taught me or showed me. You know what I'm saying? There were certain things that experience had to teach me.
And I
But
can
I do
respect
agree
that.
that we need to actually be more marriage minded. I think that we should culturally, you know, talk about the true benefits of partnership, like of true intimate partnership.
Now,
But
Happy,
are
I
we
gotta
taking
be
those
honest.
same
Well, why did
teachings
you feel like
and
you
doing
weren't
that to
ready?
the boys? Well, we're all speaking at the same time. I was going to say, are we taking that same, you know, preparing our daughters to be married, but like, are we teaching the boys to do the same thing? Because I mean, I don't know. I mean, most guys in their 20s want to be hoes too. I mean, that's what my experience was. So I'm just like,
So
you know, we can prepare the girls, and she gets ready. Oh, I want to be married, but then are the guys on that same page? Are you going to teach your
so
boys the same?
as a man who got married at 19 years old, let me tell you without any uncertainty, we ought to be preparing our boys as well. Like, so I'll talk about this in the 304 culture, where we say, women are hoes. Well, women are not hoes by themselves. Like, these men are helping to make that as well. So this stems from the young boys as well. But let's make no mistake, most boys want to be hoes. Most women can be. There is a fundamental difference here. In your 20s, a lot of more women have more access to it. A lot of men wish they had that. We don't get to become hoes. Look at Nia Long. Look at the situation. We get a chance to be hoe when we get 35, 40, we get established. We don't get that early. You see what I'm saying? So there's a difference. But to your point, yes, men should be taught that early as well.
So the thing is, there's a dynamic difference between men and women, right? I think men, but that, you know what, that's for husband school. For today, for wife school, I'm talking to the ladies, and so, I don't know. One thing, Happy, women aren't getting healthier and stronger and better looking when they get older. I know they're going to the gym more often, but their most beautiful and more formidable years are in their 20s. Listen, ladies.
If they're marriage minded, they are. If they want to be married, they are.
Yeah,
the women that I know that want to be married, they are getting way better with age, like all the time.
Yeah, okay, that's debatable, especially coming from a man who's the one that sets that marketplace value. I'm the one that determines how fine she is, 25 versus 35 and 45. And odds are I want her when she was 25. No, I don't give a fuck how many times she's going to Planet Fitness. But here's the thing that's important, ladies. You guys are dying.
Whatever, Shannon. Come on.
Listen, I'm telling you like it is. That's why we're here. That's why me and Sir Hill is here, to give you guys the male perspective. Because if I just did women only panel, it would be a sounding board here. Listen, ladies, you guys are the most unhappy than you've ever been in recorded history. You're the most medicated than ever, and you're the most free and can do the most what you want to do than ever. Listen, my frat brother Kevin Samuels said danger zone is age 27, no man's land is age 35. You guys are the medical industry says that you are at risk, pregnancy risk, at age 35. I didn't make that up. That's what the doctors say. That is the geriatric pregnancy date line for women. And if you're telling women to just start thinking about getting married at age 30, you've given her 5 years to have what we would consider a safe child. To me, that makes no sense. And then, just like Miss Mosi said, we're talking about mindset. You saying women need to get themselves together. Women need to figure themselves out. By the time they're 30, who are they going to agree with? That's when they're the most unagreeable. They're not the most malleable. They've been through a ton of dudes. Let's keep it real. We can talk about body count if you like, but we're talking about how many guys that she been dating this dude, dating that dude. She'd have been heartbroken by this dude. This dude has screwed her best friend. She'd have been through all this bullshit, up and down the dating market, in and out of the clubs. And now she wants to finally get married. And she's going to suddenly fall in love with this one dude and stick with him. You know what they say dating is? It's teaching you how to break up with people. Dating is nothing but teaching you how to get rid of somebody real easy. And so if you got a woman that's waiting until she's 32, 35 to even start thinking about marriage, she done dated so many people and broke up with so many people. Now she knows how to get rid of her husband.
I don't think
I interject. I'm sorry. I just had to interject. Okay. First of all, as far as telling my daughter to wait, if I turn the camera around, I'm in her office right now. If I turn the camera around, it's her vision board. She put pictures, photos, sayings, goals, all the things that she wants to achieve. Okay? And these things are important to her. She's very, very set in the things that she wants to accomplish. Knowing this and knowing how, knowing the things that she wants to do, knowing the things, seeing how hard she's working, seeing the effort that she puts in, she has a difficult time dating right now because at her age, she cannot find someone who is on her level.
She's dating too young. Stop dating young boys.
It's not, no, she's not dating people that are young, actually. Even older men.
Come on with it. Come on.
Even older men are not, successful older men are still not at the level of maturity that, I don't want to judge, but still not at the level of maturity that they need to be
in
with
a
her.
Relationship.
Right, because she has to
actually
set the tone so he can step into it. Like,
but,
literally.
I mean,
which is fine.
Knowing her goals and knowing the things that she wants to achieve, I don't tell her that, I tell her that she should wait. Yes, I tell her that she should wait because the goals that she's trying to accomplish right now, that's her priority. That's what she wants to do. She has this whole vision board, I wish I could show you, that just is very important to her. And these are the things that, it's right behind her computer and she looks at it and this is just what she wants to do.
And
So
does that vision board have everything to do with her career? Because I can tell you how careers end up.
Not necessarily just her career, but just things that she wants to accomplish just in life. Traveling.
Love's not on her vision board?
I'm sorry?
Is love on her vision board?
Traveling
no,
is
love.
on her.
No, is love and family on her vision board?
Family is on her vision board, but it's not specific to a husband. So she has family on her vision board, but it's not specific. So it can be love, a relationship. It can be her immediate family. It's just But what I'm saying is just that knowing what's important to her, I'm not going to change her focus and try and push her in a direction. And I will tell her, knowing my experience and knowing the things that I do, seeing the people that she's dating, I will tell her, you know what, this is probably not, a good direction for you right now. It's probably not something that you should be pursuing right now. And if she meets that perfect guy, I would encourage her. If she has somebody that she's head over heels for and that she can grow with and that she can see herself with, I would encourage her. But until that person shows up in her life, I guess I cannot. Stop wiping your face.
Because I can.
Cheryl, I wanted to respond to you too.
Her hell is
Like,
holding
maybe
it in. I know I'm holding it in.
That's my face.
But you know what too? Also, another point that I wanted to make is a lot of times we find ourselves, as far as the financial aspect of it is, I'm expecting them to do these things by themselves. I think as, parents, families should encourage their children to be more, to rely on them a little bit more. I have two younger daughters, and I wouldn't put them out, at 18 or 22 if, they needed a place to stay or they needed to, build. I would put them in a position where they could still rely on me and lean on me as their parent. I know I left home really early and it just made, it was difficult. you know, and I feel like having your parents there to help you and assist you, if that is a possibility, would take off a lot of that pressure.
Ladies, I think what you guys are doing is you're in this, and I'll say this with as much love as possible, that I think that you guys are teaching your daughters, and I'm speaking to the crowd, I'm speaking to the world, that you're teaching your daughters how to, I think you're guiding your daughters into lifelong singledom.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what I think. That's what it feels like. Because when you if you, and Cheryl, to your point, if you have a vision board with all these accomplishments and all these things that sounds like money will acquire, you want to go travel, yeah, but you need money. So now your business has to do well. So that means you got to work really hard, right? You got to work really hard to make sure that you make enough money and do enough sales to get that check, and then take that and then go buy a plane ticket and go to Dubai. And if you have this vision board of all these wonderful things that don't last a lifetime. What lasts a lifetime is relationships, period. Life is about relationships.
Life is about relationships, but at the same time,
and if we have a vision board, hold on, Cheryl, let me finish. And if we have a vision board that has everything on it except for relationships, then in my personal opinion, I think that we are shooting for something that is going to be fleeting as love, as Miss Mosey said earlier. And that's just this is what I think. I think women, not men, women should think about getting married as soon as possible. Fresh out of high school. 18, 19, maybe chill. 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Should be laser focused on that. Because you can get your degree at any time, but you can't be beautiful forever. And beauty matters to men, ladies. I'm sorry. I didn't make the game. I didn't set the rules. I just play by them. And so if we are telling our women, get yourself together, figure yourself out. It's going to take you 10 years to learn yourself and all this other kind of stuff. Learn yourself with your man. Learn yourself with somebody that can guide you into a successful old age, because all of that vacation and all those memories won't matter when you turn into a spinster, which is an increasing thing happening today.
This literally only works half of the time, guys, what he's saying. So, like, would you rather know yourself and do it correctly and do it so that it sustains long term? Or would you rather go into it, hurry up and get with somebody and try to learn yourself while you're with them, and you both of y'all mess each other up emotionally because you really don't know what you're doing. You really don't even know yourself. He don't know him. You don't know you. Now, he may know what he wants. He may have a path, especially if you're dating up, older. He may be going somewhere, but like Professor Cheryl just said, with her daughter, she's dating these older men that are successful, and they're still having a problem meeting in the middle.
Well, no. They're not on her level. I thought she said, I don't know if they're not necessarily meeting in the middle. I just think that they're not. Professor Cheryl has groomed her daughter to be so successful that she's an anomaly. She's much more mature and successful than her peers. And the guys that she's meeting can't even match her swag. That's what I got out of it.
Hey, can you guys hear me okay, Shannon?
I don't think that's it.
Go ahead, Professor Mosley. That's what she said. She was in her office. She when you let me know that you're in her office and she's successful in that aspect, and the guys that she's dating, these dudes still ain't there. They probably still just managers at Target. I don't know. So
no, these are very successful men who have multi-million-dollar companies. So,
and they're not what?
Issues,
and what are they not matching with your daughter? Why are they not good enough for her?
One of the issues is when you find a man who's older, who's dating a younger woman, a lot of the times they are looking for somebody that they can groom. But that's not, it's a lot of times it's for selfish reasons, and it does not benefit her.
Also, you want them to get on your daughter's program. No,
that's not it. I'm talking about a level of control that a lot of older men, when they date very young women, there's a level of control that they're trying to exert in that relationship. And I'm not going to say all, but I will say
most.
A lot. A lot.
Yeah, most men want women to get on their program. I won't be with a woman that won't get on mine.
It's not just
So,
being on their
okay,
program, but it's a level of control that's not always a healthy level of control in a relationship.
so
Go
this
ahead, Miss
this will be
Mosley,
okay.
and then we'll go to
So
Sir Hill. Oh no, then we'll go to
if
Professor
I
Danny.
had a daughter, if I had a daughter, I would teach her to find someone she really likes and that really
Oh yeah,
likes her.
yeah, of
Now, I
course.
have
I agree.
sons. I have sons. So what do I teach my sons? I teach my son to find a woman that is wise, that operates in wisdom. That's what those are my exact words to my sons at all times. Now, the reason I say this, men will rise to the level of what that woman requires him to. It's just the fact. He has his own program, absolutely. But I am an asset to him for his improvement and increase overall. So, so if whatever his program is, like for example, I'm going to amplify whatever he is. He takes me into the room. I'm going to find the owner of the building with all the resources and introduce him to my man. Like, so I would teach my daughter those type of skills so that her success doesn't have to be. See, what the problem is, we've been taught success is by our hands only, and not by the influence, and not by the strategic alignment of the people in our circle and those who know us and who we know. So when I shift my success to say, I have relation with the top 7 medical CEOs in this county, and I can call any of them at any time, that is a different perspective than me trying to go and recruit these organizations to utilize my service. So I do agree with you, Shannon, on that, is teaching our children about relationships. That comes from a very early age. But I really want to take it back for a quick moment because I do have a teenager who's sitting here looking at me ready to eat. So, and I watched the young girls who are about 12, 13 and how they maneuver around him. And I'm going, now he's not paying attention right now because I have him focused on what he's building, what he needs to do, but also how he's supposed to provide.
Right.
But they are looking at him naturally. And I see him look at a couple people naturally. It's a natural thing that happens in our bodies at a certain age where we become curious and there's things that go off inside of us that we cannot understand. So why not alert them at an early age what if they start to have these feelings, what it should look like, what it should mirror, what parameters to put around it, and not just a hard stop boundary, but like, hey, if you start noticing yourself in this position, this is how you maneuver. And that's why I go back to like and not love. You can fall in love with someone, but guess what? Love and like are 2 different things. I've met a lot of men who love a woman, but like me, and would maneuver for whatever I need because he liked me. You know what I'm saying?
He
Go
loved
find a
her,
man
but
that
he
you
liked
like.
me. Go ahead, Professor
just saying.
Danny. You had a point.
At the end of the day, I think it's similar. I think when you're saying, Professor Cheryl, that your daughter, when she's looking, at the end of the day, you can look all day, but if you're not the person, you don't do the work on yourself to attract what it is you're looking for, you're not going to find it. Like I heard one of my friends, she was like, you don't ask to like look for a husband, you don't ask for a family, you prepare yourself to be a wife, you prepare yourself to be a mother, a wife to your kids. You work on yourself first. You figure out what you need to be that, and then actually, that the things you want will come. The husband will come when you're
Absolutely, and I agree with you wholeheartedly on that. You should be walking the walk before you even step into that situation. So I feel like, and I agree with what you were saying also, Professor Miss Mosley, that relationships are everything. And, I think it is very important, especially in business and also in love, that you surround yourself with people who can encourage you, who can teach you, who can mold and shape you into the person that you are looking to become. So if I want to be married, I shouldn't have a whole bunch of single friends. I should have friends that are married who can teach me, the roles of being, a wife, of being, in a successful marriage. I need to have that type of mentorship and those type of relationships to help me get to the point where I need to be.
But Professor
But
Cheryl, you're saying that women shouldn't start that mindset until they're 30. That walk, that
no,
journey,
I did not
until
say
they're
that.
30
I
or
said,
older.
what I said was, if they are mature enough, that fresh 18, go ahead and do it. But if you need that level of maturity, if because like as a parent, I became a parent at 20. The parent I was at 20 and the parent that I was at 30, two different people, and that comes with marriage as well too. So if I'm 20 years old and I know that I have some qualities in me that are not beneficial to a marriage or to a relationship, maybe those are things that I need to get out of my system before I even look into, not even think, those are things that I need to get out of my system before I even look into being in a marriage. There are guys
like what? Give me an example. Give me an example of some things that you need to get, that a woman that's 20 years old needs to get out of her system, and not a baby mama. We're not talking about somebody that had a kid. What does she need to get out of her system?
Maybe
that's not going to be beneficial to a marriage.
Accomplish. Maybe there's something, because as a wife, we do get onto our husband's vision. We do attach ourselves to our husband's vision. So if his vision is, I want this and I want this, but knowing me, maybe I have a goal or something that I want to meet or reach before I give that, I don't want to push that away completely. Maybe I want to accomplish something first. Maybe there's something that I want to do, and I know that I can't accomplish that if I'm
married,
jumping onto my husband's, vision. It's not, then what I want becomes less of a priority. And that's something that I want to accomplish first, whatever the case may be.
Go ahead to Professor Tamiko. What were you going to say?
Oh, I'm just shaking my head and agreeing with what Professor Cheryl was saying. I don't have any.
But
I've never been married, no kids, so it's just like I'm looking from a different angle, and I still say again, find yourself first. I couldn't imagine being 20 and being forced or being told you need to get married. Because one of my accomplishments was I wanted to travel and see the world, and I've done that. And I'm actually at this age now that I can look back and I'm like, I'm glad I took my time, and I'm still in no rush to be married either. I figured, with patience, it's going to come. Like someone said, put yourself in that. If you want to be married, then prepare yourself to be married. And when that time is for me, then it will be for me. But I have no regrets of the way I spent my 20s and 30s and half of my 40s.
Professor Hale, did you want to talk to him about possibilities versus probability?
So I don't want to feel like I'm on the show and I'm the negative person.
No, I have to be the host, so I'm holding a certain temperament. That's why I got you, Sir Hill. So you letting them know what men think and how men are predominantly feeling in order for the women to, because remember, this is all about relationships. Husbands, we got our husband show on Tuesdays. We got to tell these dudes what the women, I got two women on that show telling men what women think. Professor Hale, let them know what the men think. Go ahead.
So you ladies are, not you ladies, but ladies in general, especially in the Black community, we're raising women to fight with their men. We're raising our women to compete with their man. I got my goals, well, you got your goals too. I got my own money, well, you got your own money. We're creating a level of conflict that they won't even have the understanding to articulate. Because what we're saying is life is about what you want to do, and then you come fit on me. A wife's mission in marriage is to be a help to her husband. And I know that sounds hard, and it's not sexy, particularly in 2022.
Today, it's not hard. It's hard and not sexy today. It used
exactly.
to be.
Yeah, because what we've taught our women is to go get the job, go get the money, and you got that. You got it all. But we are more depressed, on more medication. You're starting to experience the same cardiovascular issues that men who are working hard are experiencing, because you're taking on a level of stress in life that was never designed for you. And it seems like we don't appreciate relationships until we need one. And by the time you need one, he's
Don't
not
nobody
coming
want
in.
you.
He don't get nothing from you at this point. He's got to give to you. And I think that what we're doing as a Black community is we're training our women how to be great students, how to be great employees, how to run companies, and how to be miserable in their own life because they have nobody to come to. And by the way, the students at the colleges that our women are at and the companies that they're running, those people who own those places are going home to their wife and kids, while our women are stuck running the companies, teaching at the schools, and they go home alone. And I
Doing the
think we have
expense
to really
reports
look at that.
all night.
We got to look at that. I don't want to see any more of my beautiful sisters alone and sad because you got all the attention, you got all the sex, you got all the penis you wanted, and the illusion of that attention made you think that your options for marriage would be open forever. That's not the way that it works. Men want you at your best, at your body and at your mind, at your ability to be trained and coachable and to yield without me having to fight and go through years of baggage that you spent your 20s racking up that I got to unpack.
Professor Happy?
But
I want to say
so
something
I'm
really quick,
confused
Shannon. I
then.
think
So
we always
men
need,
who
like you
date-
said, we need
Well, hold-
relationships.
Hold
I
on,
don't
Professor
think
Cheryl. Go ahead,
we
Danny.
always need relationships. I think we just we start to see what we really need when the things we want become scarce, right? So we always need relationships. We always need men. It's just when we get older and when we realize we don't have as many options as we did early on and stuff like that, that's when we realize we need a man and stuff like that. So I just wanted to say that.
I don't know if it's bottom row versus top row tonight, but I'm just saying, go ahead, Professor Happy. You wanted to land. We're gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna get everybody's last thoughts after Professor Happy goes. Go ahead.
Okay, so first, this question comes from it depends on where you are in life, right? It depends on what your experience has brought you through, has taught you, has given you, because some people go their entire childhoods experiencing the training of becoming a marital partner. Some people never see it. We see it right here on this panel right here. So everybody comes into this idea of marriage and actually wanting it at different times. And so the reason this question can't really be answered in one way is because it depends on where you are when you realize that you want marriage, and then what it is that you do to prepare yourself to have what it is that you want. The reason I said over 30 is because that is a learning process. And it's unfortunate to me that I keep hearing you guys say that people lose value. We've talked about that on another episode, that women lose value as they get older in men's eyes. And that's weird to me because I don't see life that way.
Not just value on its name. Sexual marketplace value.
Sexual marketplace value, use to the man, the appearance of beauty, or
that declines.
The idea that they are upholding the standard of beauty that a man wants. However, what I've realized is that relationships are very important. You have to experience relationships in order to know how to properly navigate one. You have to get that experience in that time, and everybody comes to that at different points in their life. And I'm not talking about just sex, because a relationship is so much more than sex. Actually, the longevity and the success of a relationship has so much more to do than how cute you think I am when you first met me at 24. Okay.
So, Professor Happy, let me be clear. Are you suggesting that women should date a lot so they can understand what a relationship is like?
No. Women should date intentionally. You don't date to learn how to break up. You date so that you can learn more about yourself, so that you can learn what you like, so that you can learn what you don't like. So you can say, hey.
And you do that by going from boyfriend to boyfriend?
Huh?
And you do that by going from boyfriend to boyfriend to see what you like and what you don't. Get a little taste of all of it to find out which flavor you don't like?
What you do is you date. Dating does not mean that you and I are boyfriend and girlfriend. Dating means you and I are going to go on some dates and we going to get to know each other. We are going to learn how to relate to people. We don't have to have sex to do that. And we can actually build friendships with people and learn how to be in relationship with people and learn what it is that we like and what it is that we need, not just what we like, because a marriage has to be able to give you what you need. It's not just about a look. Oh, she look good right now, so I need to have her right now, or else I'm not going to want her in 5 years. What are you? I have friendships that have only gotten better with time because I have learned how to be in relationship, in friendship with people over time. And my outside relationships, my friendships, how I do life, all of those things culminate into how I treat my friends, how I treat people that I'm in relationship with. And I totally agree that we should be more marriage minded. We do need to understand the importance of marriage. However, people come to that at different times in their life based on the life that they have and what their experience has granted them the opportunity of experiencing. So it's not necessarily an age, but we have to prepare for marriage. It is not something that you can just jump into, or even just read a book about, or even just experience somebody else's and say, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and do this and I'm gonna be dope at it because I know I'm gonna be successful because of what I saw on that movie, when I was growing up that one time. Like, no, people have to make an intentional decision to look for partnership, but you have to know how you can make that sustainable. And I think that the only way to do that is to, number one, know yourself. And we know you just change in your 20s. You just do. You just experience so much. It's not just sexually. You experience so much on a life level that those lessons are invaluable. And if you are able to take those lessons, knowing that you want lifelong partnership with somebody, and take them into the relationships or the kind of relationship that you want to build and create, I think that you have a much better chance at success if you do that intentionally and for yourself. You have to come to that at whatever point you come to it at. Like Tamika said, she's 46 and she's just now even thinking about it. Why? It's not because there's something wrong with her. It's because she did not have that modeled for her in her childhood. She just didn't think about it. She had other things she wanted to do and she's doing just fine. She don't feel like she's lost out. And so our relationship's important. I'm sure she has plenty of friendships. She's not an unhappy person.
Okay. Go ahead, Professor Cheryl. Give us your final thoughts.
One thing that I, heard during the podcast was that, love is not a necessity. But when you take things biblically, a woman is supposed to respect her husband and a man is supposed to love his wife. So I think even with friendships, there is a level of love and respect that you have for them. Love always plays a part in all of my relationships, my friendships, my family. I tell my friends on a regular basis, like when we're getting off the telephone, I'll tell them, I love you, and that's just something that I express to them. It is honest and true with all of my relationships. I have that level of love and respect for people. And it's, there's different levels of it, but that is play a significant role. And with marriage, finding a man who loves his wife, it's biblical. I can't even try to explain it further than that, But I think that, at the same point, just understanding who you are, understanding your needs, understanding, the things that you can put up with, things that you can't put up with. Those aren't always things that you know at 18 or 20 or 25, and then you develop your true friendships, I feel, when you are adults. Those high school friendships are great, but, typically those high school friendships don't get you through like the death of a parent. Typically they don't get you through like, losing your jobs or not being able to find a job, or just different things in life that happen that are significant. People don't really prove themselves as friends until you are an adult. And you develop those, really close relationships. My friendship pool went from, this to this as I got older. So you really learn to develop, an understanding of friendship, relationships, and things like that as you get older.
Okay. And Professor Tamiko, final thoughts to the young ladies that's listening and going to resonate with you.
Well, just to get back on, what the topic of this show was, like with age, I still stand in waiting to the point where you know yourself, you're comfortable who you are. Someone said, marry yourself. I absolutely 100%. You have to know who you are to, if that's the type of love that you want. You have to be the what does they say? You have to hold a mirror to yourself, and you have to be that to receive that. So, and I typically at 18, again, and everybody's situation is different, but at 18, 20, 21, you're not there yet. You haven't even gone through. I mean, part of being in a relationship is the heartbreak and the breakup, and that, I mean, I've been through some crazy shit, right? And I think at 18, if I jump into a marriage and then my first experiences, of a relationship not working out or breaking up, I don't know if I mentally would be able to handle it. I'm 35, 40 or whatever, and then I go through that, and I've been through enough experiences to understand and prepare myself for the next phase and things like that. Again, maturity level, age, and all of that does matter. So I would say for the young girls that are listening, I mean, just wait, find yourself, and marriage will come to you when it's supposed to.
Professor Danny, what's your final thoughts?
I think a reason why a lot of marriages don't work absolutely off the bat is that people don't want commitment and people don't want to feel like they're missing out on something better. But I think the overall thing is, I think you said it earlier, that people are just scared. People date planning to break up. Like, I think that's absolutely right. And that's the problem. We're trying to date, we're trying to get married, but we're already in our head, it's already not going to work. So, but a lot of people that get married and make it last know, like, they can make it work. Like, I was hearing Professor Cheryl and Professor Mika saying, like, they wanted to do stuff before they got married, like travel and stuff. People that think positive and want to make it work know that they can travel with their man. Like, they make it work. They can do the stuff that they think they can't do if they're married. They do with their man because they think it positive, and they know it can work. So I think at the end of the day, like, there's not really anything we can't do if
Single,
we're married. We just don't. We
that you
choose
can't
not
do
want
in
to
a
do
relationship.
it, and that's basically what it is. We don't want to be married. So,
Professor
Finding
Mosley,
that right some time, y'all.
Professor Mosley, what's your final thoughts for the
Okay,
ladies that are
so
listening?
so for everyone, we just want to say that you're hearing us all from different angles and aspects. So number one, you got to be guided by what is your spirit telling you. Okay, what is the timing? Now, I will say this: go into marriage understanding what marriage is. If you truly understand what marriage is, you might make that decision a lot sooner rather than later.
The institution of it, what it actually
The ins-
is.
exactly. I would highly recommend you find someone you like over the one you love, because
Fair.
like will last a lot longer than when that love fizzles out and whatever attracted you to that reason that you love that person. Find someone you like. Be a friend. Find a friend. Understand, and I'm going to what Professor Cheryl said. I'm going to piggyback on. It's not that I'm not telling you not to get to go for love, but just understand what the institution of marriage is. And a man was called to love his wife like Christ loved the church, and the Bible also says that, and he gave himself for it. So when you find a man that's giving himself for you, pay attention. Pay attention when that man shows up, and he's the one you can call when your car broke down on the side of the road, and he will leave his job to come and see about you. Pay attention when that man sees you kind of crying over some spilled milk, and he goes and gets you another gallon of the milk. Pay attention to those men because they show up in your 20s and you're chasing a different energy. Last thing I'll say is this: the bad bitch energy is a trauma response to women who have been hurt or women who are afraid to be hurt. And love is not fear, it conquers all. So be authentically you, show up, and pay attention to what's around you. And what you want from that man, be it first, and watch him just amplify it even more. Give it, just be a giver also. There's so much more I would say, but that's for another school day.
Well, I tell y'all, we used to do 3 topics. Now we do 1, and 1 still goes over time. Professor Hale, Final thoughts, brother.
All right. So, first of all, it's always good to talk to everybody. Good to see you, ladies. This is very simple to me. If you want to be married to a man, ask what he wants. I hear so many women coming with a list of demands. I want. This is important to me. It ain't about you. One of the things I learned as a consultant is, as a consultant, before turning full time, my whole goal was to see how I can bring in new business and bring value to the company that I was working for. Once I proved value, the company is like, you know what? I don't want to let this person go because they are a valuable asset. Every woman should go into a relationship like a consultant, trying to show your value to the business of the man that you're with. In marriage is your conversion from consultant to full-time employee because you've shown so much value. The second thing is you should not be dating single. Dating is for married folks. When you're single, you should be becoming friends because you know who a person really is through friendship. You get to see them through the 4 seasons of their life: happy, angry, sad, frustrated, right? So develop friendship first. And then the last and final thing, ladies, your job as a wife is to be a wife. So you should be coming in not making demands but asking questions. What is your life's mission? What inspires you? What are you about? And if what he's about is something that you can nest in and make better, then commit to him. But marriage ain't about you traveling the world and you going to, to the fanciest restaurants. That comes later after you don't put in work. A lot of ladies want to be treated like escorts with the respect of a wife, and it doesn't work that way. So go in there with an investment. Go in there looking at how you can give and be a benefit to him. And everything that you want, you get later in life. The problem is most people want returns on investments they did not make, and we got to get out of that mindset. Thank you for having me, Shannon. I appreciate you.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for being here
That's
today.
good.
Listen, I hear the biggest thing that I'm getting is know who you are. Know who you are. The problem with that know who you are thing is that everybody thinks they know who they are at every age. When I was 16, I thought I knew who I was until I was 20 and realized I didn't know. But at 20, I thought I knew until I turned 25. And then when I became 30, I said I didn't know what the fuck I was talking about at 25. But at 30, I knew until I was 35. And it wasn't until I got 40 that I realized I never knew what the fuck I was talking about. I'm smart enough now to not say I know what I'm talking about. The problem is Father Time is on my side as a man. It's not on your side as a woman, ladies. I'm sorry. It's just not. And so if you wake up one day and you say, okay, I finally know who I am at 40. I'm ready. Where's my man? You think you go just pick a man off the man tree? Oh, that tree is barren. It's not there for you. And I know you think it possibly. I'm not saying that it's not possible. Nothing is impossible. But men speak on probabilities, not possibilities. And far too many women, in my experience, speak on possibilities. And now we're looking at how that's working out. We're looking at all the and I get it because there's a what do we call it? I forget the term. I'm having a brain fart on the term. But you think that, you know what, I'm here, so this is fine. I'm happy and this is good with me. Well, you had no choice. You better say it's fine and good. What's the alternative? You can't, there's no time machine. We have to say we're happy with our decisions. But in the reality is for me, there's a lot of decisions that I wish I didn't make. At 50 years old today, I wish I didn't make some of the decisions I made. I just wish I didn't. I just didn't know any better. And to know better is to do better. And I would want my young guys and girls to do better than I did. And so I'm not going to lead them down a path to be where I am. Twice married, twice divorced at 50 years old. Simply because I think that, I was cool with what I did back in the day. No, I'm not going to do that. I got to give the game that wasn't given to me and say, don't do what I did, bro. Trust me. I mean, I'm cool, but it could have been a whole lot better if I would have did this or that and so on and so forth. Listen, I hope everybody learned something today. Remember, the serpent attacked relationships first as his very first attack in Genesis. Don't just plan your wedding, ladies. Plan your entire marriage, and to be married isn't enough. You have to be a wife. I appreciate you guys. Please like and subscribe to the video. Share this video. Let somebody that you know needs to hear this watch this. You got game from some very intelligent professors here tonight. And we'll see you back next week, same time, same channel. Appreciate you guys. Good show, y'all.
That was good. That was good.
I know we be wanting to go longer.
Could go longer because there were so many points to be made.
I know. Happy and Cheryl go talk, boy. They be ready to go.
I was trying to keep it short, but I don't know. I'm long-winded.
Wait, Shannon, one part I have a problem with. What do you mean the father time is not on our side, but it's on the men's side? Just clear that.
I'll clear it up. I want everybody real quick, though, before we go, mingle and play this Saturday, September 24th. If you are in Los Angeles, you have no other place to be except at Der Wolf in Pasadena. You got to pull up, everybody. I want everybody to please screenshot the television right now. Screenshot this. All the thousands of people that's going to watch this replay, screenshot. I need you guys to pull up to mingle and play this coming Saturday. It's this Saturday, right, Cheryl?
Yep. Yes, it is.
Pull up this Saturday. It's going to be great games out there. It's going to be dope. I want you guys to pull up. I appreciate you guys. I'll see you next week. Everybody screenshot this, and I'll see you Saturday in Pasadena.
You didn't answer my question about the father time thing.
Hold on.
You'll never feel the way I feel. You don't know if my love